Good morning. Today is September 4th of 2016. It's Sunday and it's 5:45 a.m. in the morning. This is just going to be a little general blog. Wanted to mention the earthquake the other morning. A little bit after 7 a.m. I was sitting here at my computer and my chair went like that, and I thought for a second, oh no, the big one. And not the big earthquake, the big stroke or something. And I thought, no wait, that's an earthquake. And sure enough, that's what it turned out to be. That centered up in Oklahoma, where they're doing fracking, where they're pumping tremendous amounts of water into the ground, and that forces oil out. And of course, they're also putting in tremendous amounts of chemicals into the ground. Of course, in the past, they denied that they were putting chemicals into the ground. And then when they were called on it, they said, well, yeah, we're putting some chemicals in the ground, but we're not going to tell you. And I think some of them are still holding with, they're not going to tell you it's proprietary information. We're not going to tell you what the chemicals are. But I think other companies have come out and told what the chemicals are, and of course the chemicals are not good things, but then they say, well, oh, it's such a small amount, we only put in 0.01 or 0.001 or something of the water or whatever that goes in as chemicals. But of course they're putting in tremendous amounts of water, so I'm not giving the exact numbers, because I can't remember what they were. But then when people did the calculations, well, that percentage is, hundreds or thousands of gallons of water or of its chemicals because of the percentage. So, and then of course in the beginning they denied, and maybe they still some of them do, fracking. Fracking has nothing to do with earthquakes. Absolutely nothing to do with earthquakes. And now I think they've come around now to the point where, probably not all of them, but the companies have come around, well, yeah, it causes minor earthquakes, but it's no concern. I'm in Texas, and let me say about the earthquake that happened the other day. I've been here since 2011. I was here before for a short period of time. I've been here since 2011. I've never felt an earthquake. But over fairly close to here and a little further than Dallas or out there a little ways, they've been having a lot of real, very mild ones. But, and I forget the name of the town. There's more than one town, but I forget the name of the small town. I mean, it's just, I think they were having them every day, little tremors every day. And there in the beginning, the fracking company, the oiling companies, were saying, no, we have nothing to do with that. Of course, they're doing tremendous amount of fracking over in that area. And so the people who, Republicans, who lived in that area all their life and farmed and had ranches and things there, for families going back generations, said, we've never had earthquakes here. This is Texas. We've never had earthquakes here, and now we're having them every day. And so I think finally the companies had to come around and say, well, yeah, but it's just minor shaking, So the town, and I think it was just one town, I'm not sure, the town said, we're going to pass an ordinance to not allow any fracking, in the city limits, and the businesses or whatever said, you can't do that, that's un-American, we have a right to businesses, we can do what we want to do, you can't, whatever. And of course, Republican congressmen in the state legislature, which is, the state legislature here is basically all Republican. I mean, they have a minority of Democrats, but not very many. But all the Republicans, said, state legislatures, no, you can't do that. Business has a right to do whatever they do. No rules, no regulations, no controls on them at all. You can't put any regulations. You can't do that. That's un-American. So the town went ahead and passed an ordinance that, no fracking within our city limits or whatever. So the Texas state legislature passed a state law stating that no city or county within the state of Texas can place a ban on fracking. So that kind of shows the political situation. So this was just a real minor one and like I said, I've been here since 2011. That's the first that I have felt here that I know of. But I mean, if I was sitting here at my computer, if I'd have been in bed, or even if I'd been walking, probably, I don't think I would have felt it. I think I remember once, and I was surprised, I lived in Kansas City, Missouri, I always say all my life, but I'm still alive and I'm not there, but I was I can't say that either. I was going to say lifelong resident. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and during World War II, then my parents and I went out to California, and we were out there during World War II, and my parents, of course, were working, and of course I wasn't, because I was only, I was less than 5 years old. But I remember an earthquake out there where the floor was really I have very few memories, just little tiny flashes, very few. And I do remember an earthquake out there where I was standing, the whole thing was shaking out there. And I think there was one in Kansas City, Missouri one time, I believe. That one I'm not sure if I remember or not. Maybe it was just reported and how that goes so. But anyway, I blogged about it, put some links. There's a site you can go to. If you go here now, of course, if you put in your own city or wherever you want, then this is recent earthquakes near Fort Worth, Texas. But if you put in your location or whatever, then you get that information. And I don't think the one, they don't even, maybe it has to be over a certain amount or something in order to, because I don't even, or else they haven't updated this thing. But I think we can kill them. Yeah, kill that. I think we can move on to, I wanted to mention, I review items on, I review items on Amazon, and I get the items for free. Of course, they haven't sent me a Mercedes or a Jaguar or even a big screen TV or even a computer, and I get, small items to review, and then I get to keep them. Of course, I've always, and you're required by law actually to do it, I've always posted that I was sent the item for free to review. And even I put that I was sent it for free, even, for reviewing. Even sometimes they have you pay 99 cents or even a little more for an item so that you could say, well, that you paid a nominal amount for it or something. I don't do that. I get probably 10 to 15 requests a night, usually a night, because the requests are coming from China. And I turn down more and more of them. Requests to do women's bras. That was the other night, one of them. The other night, a few sex objects. I've turned those down. And occasionally something like this happens. These people here asked me to review, and I saw 30-ounce stainless steel mug or whatever, and stainless steel straws or whatever. I thought that'd be pretty neat. So I went ahead and said, send it to me. When I got it, I thought, I think that's it here in this box, maybe. Yeah, it is. When I got it, I thought, well, they forgot to send the stainless steel mug. And then I realized this is just the accessories for the the thing. I need to watch that or whatever. I mean, need to be more careful. So now I'll try to review this, but I don't have the mug that it fits. Oh, but I was going to show you these people. Yeah, I think that was a 30 ounce accessory for 30, and this is 36 ounce. But look at the price of the mug, or no, I guess not a mug. What would you call it? Bottle. $58 for the bottle. No wonder they're selling accessories for it. Okay, moving on. The other day we started seeing on YouTube, you've probably seen them, especially if you, like here's Phil DeFranco. I've watched quite a few of his videos actually. I don't like the way he does things, but he's, there he's got 4 million reviews, or 4 million views of his video that he made August 31st, and this is September 4th. And so my opinion of what is, doesn't really matter very much, because he's got 216,000 thumbs up in the last few days. He talked about YouTube's new, well, I guess it's not a new policy, but I guess they finally started enforcing it or whatever, of they're going to take monetization away from videos that they don't think are appropriate for various reasons. And some of the YouTube providers, the people who are making the videos, are very upset, like Boogie2988. I do watch quite a few of his videos. I don't watch the gaming videos, but I do watch his videos, and he'll probably be hit by the thing, if he hasn't already, because he's had a hard life. Things are going good for him right now. You can follow his videos, but things are going good for him right now, and he's making his living. He got married, he got a house from his YouTube money, and things are going well for him now. But he talks about an abusive mother, his psychological problems, his weight problem, and suicidal thoughts, and problems that he's had, and he gives positive advice and tells people to get help and all. But he does, that's a small part of what he does, but he does that occasionally. That type of content would be flagged, be turned off where he couldn't make any money from that video, because YouTube figures that sponsors do not want to advertise, have their, they don't want to be, I don't know who advertises. I pay the $10 a month or whatever and don't see the advert. Well, of course I see the advertisement, or do I? I guess I don't over here. I don't know. I pay $10 a month for the YouTube Red or whatever it is, and I don't see the advertisements at all. But advertisers are probably not going to want to be advertising, bring your children to, let's say, Worlds of Fun or Disney World or whatever, and have it appear on a video where there's something that is talking about suicide or something like that. So his videos, so he's concerned. Philip DeFranco, he cusses a lot. I've watched his videos, but not enough. But he's had some that have been turned off where he can't make money on the video. And then I didn't watch all of this video, but he mentions in there something which, if YouTube turns it off, say like he uploads a video here, he uploaded one 4 days ago. He uploaded this video. Well, he got 4 million hits. Well, if he uploads a video and they turn off the ability to make money from it, and then he appeals, and then a week later they turn it on, he's lost 4,000, which would be, let's see, stats, which for him would be that he would have lost $5,931.63 approximately. That's a lot of money. I make about $30 a month. It's moved up. It was like $25 a month. Now it's moved up. I make about $30 a month from YouTube. So YouTube providers are, let's go to Boogie. Did I delete that one already? Okay. Boogie in this case made 3 days ago also, he made this. And he already has 416,000 views. For him that would be $609.19 approximately. So now I've actually been hit by it twice in the last month or two or whatever, and this one here I remember just it was a blog like this of me talking about stuff, and I was talking about mental illness and the U.S. healthcare system and pointing out, and it has 120 views. That's about normal for, as you can see. I mean, down here I had 1,000 views in May of from May of 16. 150, 200 views, that's probably, so I'm, I could do without, I could just, they're not going to hurt me by turning off, but they've turned off for this one. And I remember that one. I was just talking about how bad the healthcare system was, and our mental health system, that the people with mental illnesses just weren't getting the services that they needed, and that the healthcare system needed to be revamped and whatever. And they turned that off, and to me that seems sort of political. I mean, I guess Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna and some other people wouldn't want to advertise where I'm talking about how the health insurance companies should be either non-profit or we should have a single payer. I could see where they, but so I don't know what the solution to the thing is. Not going to affect me, and it's not censorship. I mean, YouTube, Google, they're private companies. They can do whatever the hell they want to. I guess anymore I'm not supposed to say whatever the fuck they want to, or because you don't know where you're going to be. And I don't think I cuss a lot or swear or use profanity, but I have used it, and I do from time to time, and I've used it for emphasis, so you know, and then sometimes I just get angry and it just comes out. So that's, just that alone could be cause to have something. So that's what's going on right now on YouTube, is that there are a lot, not just those two, but there's a whole bunch of people who are very upset and worried about how it works. For me, I would hate to, and I don't think this is a video you don't have to see, and a video that's not going to, you're not going to go, oh my God, this old bald man gave me such tremendous insight. I'm going to go out now and conquer the world or cure cancer or something like that. This is not something that people have to see. If you didn't see it, oh, the cat's pushing. Don't push my pen on the floor. Oh, it's nothing. So, but just so you know what's going on. So,
YouTube, Boogie2988, coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, and maybe for one of the very last times I get to say that on this website. I'm sure it's not as drastic as all that, but if you know me at all, you know that I like to be objective and impartial, and I like to speak very neutrally on topics. And if you will forgive me, I'd like to shed that for just a minute, because this is not a topic I can be neutral on. I am on vacation right now. That's why the background is different. That's why everything's different. In 20 minutes, I'm supposed to go get on a nice...
Let's see here.
A fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And guys, the first thing today is I don't think that I can call you beautiful bastards anymore, because apparently that and several other things I do are not, quote, advertiser friendly. I had heard murmurings. I had heard a few YouTube...
So, what else is going on? My daughter from Sweden purchased some land a while back in Texas, down in the Houston area, and bought 3 lots that are in a flood zone area, and she bought a boat, a sailboat, had it hauled down there at great expense, and she can't get it onto her lots. A neighbor let her put the boat on his place for a while. And so she's down there on her property. Her property is mud, and one that she can't get her boat onto the property that's so much mud. Although she had, the guy that hauled it down there tried to get it onto the lot, and she told him, no, don't try it. And he just went ahead, because he's a mudder. He likes to take his vehicle out and drive through property in mud. So he's hauling her 25-foot boat, and she told him not to, and he insisted on trying to get it in there, and he messed up her trailer, and the boat was shifting back and forth. Luckily, well, she hasn't had a chance to get into her boat to see, but she had stuff in there, some cans of sealer to repair the boat, because the boat that she bought is as in bad condition as the land that she bought. So she thinks that probably some stuff shifted in there and may have broke things. So I think she'll probably find out today. But she's down there. Of course, I'm concerned and worried about her. The land is also infected, and it's filled with snakes and other creatures. Of course, she likes snakes too, but poisonous snakes. The closest hospital down there offers a class on what to do when you're bit by a snake. The real estate lady who took her to show her the property, when they pull up, I guess the real estate lady, these are the 3 lots here and blah, 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 blah. And so Hillary's going to get out to look at it, and the lady says, oh, you better take this machete. And do you have, okay, you've got boots on, you're okay. You need to take this machete because of the snakes. And the real estate lady said, just about everybody down here has been bit by snakes. So my grown daughter, is down there. And I'm left with taking care of, before Hillary came here, about a year ago from Sweden to visit it for a little bit. Before she came here, I did not have a cat or any type of a pet, and I was very happy. And Hillary loves animals. She talks to the birds. She talks to the cats like she thinks that they understand everything that she says. Like, a cat will catch a bird or kill a bird or something and drop it outside her door, and Hillary will say, why, how could you do that? You know that, this bird has a family, and don't do that anymore. Please don't talking to, So now I have a cat, and she's not here. And my arthritis hurts like hell whenever I bend over. I have one of those sticks to pick things up, and I go, if I drop something on the floor or whatever, I go across the room and get the stick to pick it up. I'm always moving stuff around, and as you probably well know if you've been watching the videos, I'm always moving stuff around in here and plugging and unplugging things. And when I have to bend over to plug something into the wall or unplug it, it fucking hurts. Whoops. This video might be banned. Warning. Well, it wouldn't be banned. I just wouldn't get paid for it. So I'm worried and concerned about her being down there. New subject. A couple new subjects, and then I'll let you go. And it will come out about a little bit over 30 minutes. Oh, okay. An awful lot of people listen to podcasts, and they're very popular, and I can understand why, because you can be driving to work, and you don't have to see me. Well, of course, I show little tiny clips maybe of something sometimes. An awful lot of people like listening to podcasts, and because you can be driving to work, you could be waiting in a doctor's office and be listening to a podcast. You can be doing stuff around the house. Sometimes I watch Twit on my computer sometimes, and on start to say Uber TV, Roku TV, stuff like that, and I'll be doing the dishes or doing a little bit of cleaning or something like that, and have it on. So that's like a podcast. So podcasts are very popular, and I have uploaded a couple things to SoundCloud and a couple others I didn't even, like a couple of those I didn't even know about. SoundCloud I've been playing with the last few days, and because I've been thinking about doing every day a podcast. So I even went ahead and paid for the premium service for SoundCloud. I don't like the display, the way things are displayed. And I've been looking at it, playing with it, creating a playlist and doing that type of thing. So I don't think I'm going to use SoundCloud for it. I'll cancel my premium that I pay them. I found another site, and I can't even remember. Well, let's see. Start page. Can't even remember. I think it's here. Okay. Yeah, this one I looked at, and of course I'd pay more than $5 a month for the thing. I like their I looked at some of the sites that people have set up, and it's more like a blog also, so people can listen just to the, you can go to a list or subscribe to it or whatever and hear it. But if you actually go to the site, then I can put information under it and have some links and do all that kind of stuff. So I think I may be going, and then on the other hand, I may just decide that I'm not going to do podcasting. If you're following my blog, you probably shouldn't be. I wiped out the old site again and have started over, and this time I didn't import any of the thousands and thousands of old blog posts or whatever. I just totally started over. I think I made a maybe YouTube video the other day or something about the reason that I did it, but I just started over, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Facebook is, I started in 1982 with a computer bulletin board system, and that became extremely popular, really, really popular. And then the World Wide Web was invented in 1995, and of course I moved my blog to the World Wide Web and shut down the bulletin board. But I love the bulletin board systems. Software. The last software I was running was, the first software I had to write in BASIC myself. The last I was using Mustang software. I just loved it. Just playing with it, setting things up, and the whole thing. But the World Wide Web destroyed. I understand. Yeah, there's still a few bulletin board systems going, but destroyed the computer bulletin boards. And now we have Facebook, and it looks to me like Facebook and a few others, Twitter and those things, they're destroying the personal, the personal blog. Sure, I mean, if you have some niche or something like that, if you're pro-gun, if you're really pro-gun, if you're a gun enthusiast, and you set up a site, you will get the people flocking there. If you're, if you believe that the world is flat, or if you believe that the U.S. government brought down the towers in New York City on 9/11, you'll get a bunch of people going there. If you're doing porn, you'll get a bunch of people going there. But if you're just trying to do a blog like I've been doing, my viewership has been steadily going down. 200, 300 a day, people coming to the thing, not counting people that are reading with RSS readers and stuff. And occasionally I would post something that was of great interest, and I might get 1,000 people a day or 2,000 for a day, and then it goes back down to the thing. And that number. It used to be it would go back, like to 500 a day, people coming. And then it got down to 300, coming. But I guess I will mention what happened with my blog, and this is the first time I've just totally wiped out all the messages and started over. But even of those, let's say 300 a day that were coming, a vast majority of those were coming because of a certain article that I had written. And two of even the ones who weren't coming for that, the others, an awful lot of the others. Now, of course, I have people who actually were members of my BBS and logged in at 300 baud, or maybe it was 1200 baud then, and been following me for years. That's really great. And they'll continue to follow me no matter what I do. A lot of them are friends. And but what's happened? Well, let me go back to the bulletin board system, or not the bulletin board, the blog, not the one I just killed, but before that. I had several hundred people coming a day, every day, who did a Google search. And they did a Google search for, I forget what it was, 9-year-old nude boy or 10-year-old nude boy, something like that. And I got 200 or 300 people coming every day for that. And of course they immediately came. They immediately saw the few words that were there. There was no pictures. There was this many words or less. And what that was from years ago, I saw a news story about a woman who sent her, let's say, 10-year-old son. She was having some problems with him. He wasn't listening to her and wouldn't do what he said. And she was a single mom. And she tried to discipline him. She took his clothes away and sent him out in the yard to rake the yard. And somebody called the police. And so they had the article and said that, very short article, said that the police arrived and they didn't think that any police action was really needed, and they did notify child welfare, and they would be, I guess not welfare, child social services or whatever, would be checking on it. And so I blogged, the woman shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. But I don't think the police or even the children's services should get involved. She just was stressed out and made a mistake, and I'm sure she's probably a good mother or whatever. And I posted that, and then a couple of days later I saw a news story that said that nothing was going to happen. Child services checked, and she was a good mother and just made a mistake. And so I updated the thing. I said, oh, okay, well. They did mention, though, that it was kind of cold outside, 60s or something like that. Kind of cold out there to be naked. But and so I said, well, I'm glad that she hasn't been disrupted by everything. And so that was it. And then that got indexed on Google, and for years, 200 or 300 people every day searching for that. Of course, they come and they immediately, see that, and then they're gone. The first time when I wrote that, a few days after when it got indexed, I'm really stupid. You can go in and you can see where your traffic, what they use to search for. I think they changed that. I don't think you can now. Now, you couldn't see who they were or that type of stuff. You could see that they use certain words to. So when I saw, getting a bunch today, searching for a nude 10-year-old boy, and I thought, oh, that must be, I guess some 10-year-old girl must be wondering what a 10-year-old boy, looks like naked, and then, the next day a whole bunch more, and I thought, it couldn't be 10-year-old girls all doing that. Well, maybe some mother, single mother or something, wonders if her son, she's maybe giving him baths or something, and wonders if he's developing properly or something. And then probably later that day, or anyway, the next day, the number is increasing. And okay, I know this is guys looking for naked 10-year-old boys or something. So I just eventually shut that. There was some other reasons. So because there was some other searches, not on that line, but along Little People, Big World. I used to watch that about the little people. Had the farm or whatever. I think it might be still on someplace. So I was watching the episodes, and I think I must have been watching maybe sort of this reruns. Maybe I watched it, and I was watching some reruns, and it comes to the end of the season, and that's when they had the accident. As soon as I was watching this show, and I saw that they were building this gigantic catapult to shoot, because they grew pumpkins for Halloween and sold them at their farm or whatever. And I thought, this is not good. Somebody's going to get hurt. And then, of course, the episode, and a little boy gets hurt. I think he's about maybe 10 years old. And the guy, their helper, handyman or whatever, he gets hurt, and an ambulance is called or whatever. And that's the end of the show. What the fuck happened? So I did a search. And they said, oh yeah, on an episode like the last episode of the season 2 months ago or 3 months ago, there was this accident and the boy was in the hospital for a while. The man was hurt worse, but they both got out of the hospital. And so anyway, I of course blogged about that. I said, I watched this show and this episode such and such, but I looked it up, and they're okay now. That was it. So then, that of course got indexed by Google. And then as the season of Little People Big goes on, when it comes to, when they repeat, they're going through the thing, when they start the whole cycle over, when they come to that one, my God, I would get 2,000 hits or whatever all of a sudden, and I would know. By then I wasn't watching it anymore, because it might have been just strictly in reruns. But I'd get flooded. Then, of course, it would go down to almost zero. And then I could tell when that episode appeared on TV, because everybody else did the same thing. We're sitting there, and then they got they Googled to find out, and they came there. Now that was kind of a useful thing for them, because I pulled the information together and had it all in one spot with links. Here's the more details. So I guess I didn't. But now with this last site that I had just killed, Ellen, the TV show Ellen or whatever, which I don't watch, but she had a guy in Texas, a sort of a comedian, DJ sort of, and she got together with him, and they set up a thing where he did that routine of he pretended to be a old woman, and then I guess she'd heard about it or listened to or saw some video that he had done. So it was set up that he called in, and she acted like she didn't know who he was. And that went on for several shows, like first, I think Helen called, the old lady, or the guy called in pretending to be an old lady. And then a few days later, I guess, Ellen says, remember Grandma so-and-so? I'm going to call her, calls the guy. And so that went on. Well, then people wondered, is this, I think eventually she admitted up. It wasn't like she did something wrong. It was like, hey, she's an entertainer or whatever. And so they admitted that it was all a staged entertainment thing. But I could tell when that, I went and got the information, the guy's name and all that type of stuff. And then on the page I had the video clips from YouTube of the various things from the TV show. And so I can tell when Ellen reruns, what time are we here? Looks like this might be an hour recording. I could tell when Ellen was, because of things would shoot up. So I'm not sure. I think it's getting time, Facebook and Twitter has killed the personal blog. If you're somebody like me and you start a new blog, you'd be so happy, and you design it, everything, and you pick out the colors and you do all this kind of stuff, and you decide what goes where, and then you write something and put it on there, and then you sit and you wait for people to come. You'll get 5 or 6 people. Next day maybe you'll get 10, and you just don't get any people, very, very few. Now, like I said, if you are really good into something that a lot of people are into, say what my idea for my computer bulletin board system, the reason for that, and I had to write my own software to begin with, and I was one of the first people to do a computer bulletin board system. I wanted to put on there, my memory is not the greatest, as many of you probably tell from. So my Howard's Notebook was to be a list of things, a list of things that I wanted to be able to look up easily. And this is before the World Wide Web, you understand. The internet existed, but the World Wide Web didn't. So I had a list of amateur radio repeaters in the Kansas City, Missouri area, a list of amateur radio nets so that I could check in by radio, that Wednesday at 8 p.m. or whatever, a list of amateur radio clubs so somebody could how to contact them and join or whatever. It wasn't just amateur radio stuff. It was, I can't remember what the other stuff was. And then, of course, from their beginning, it was like it was a blog. Although the word blog hadn't been invented yet, it was a blog because it was like, earthquake, alien signals, whatever I was interested in. And over the years, it changed. When I started doing it, I was married. When the wife wanted a divorce, I blogged about that, and about having to move in at 40 years of age with my mother. I blogged about my job. I blogged about doing grievances, and when I did a grievance at work against the director of security or whatever, I printed the grievance that I wrote out, and then when it was handled at work, I put what the results were. And so depending when you would read the the bulletin board system, or later the blog, because I did that on the blog also. If you would go and you'd be looking at a week or something, you'd say, oh, I don't want to watch that because the guy just talks about his personal life and about his ex-wife and his kids or that. If you come at another time, a lot of it would have been political or whatever. I've been talking about an election or whatever. I'm not interested. And then you'd be come at another time and be, well, he's talking about his blog and how many people read it and that type of stuff. And I'm not interested in that. So it just reflected whatever I was interested in. I'm going to go for 10 more minutes, I think. But I can't think of anything to say. Help. Changing the subject, I have a ton of things to review. It's getting out of hand. Today's Sunday, but Amazon is delivering 5 items for me to headphones, Wi-Fi headphones, regular headphones that you plug in, a mouse, an inexpensive mouse, and a couple other items. So you can't see it behind me, my whiteboard back there. I'm not sure you can read it. Well, I have written on there, do a podcast at 5 a.m. I don't think I will be doing podcast anymore, but I also have there 5 circles saying do 5 Amazon reviews a day. It's really getting out of hand. On top of my head is, I banged it one time and it doesn't heal. I guess because I have diabetes, or maybe because I'm just an old fart. It scabs over. When the scab drops off, there's a very mild area, like the skin has been scraped or something. And it doesn't heal, except the scab grows over and then eventually drops off. I'm turning down, back to changing subjects again, I'm turning down an awful lot of Amazon reviews. By the way, do I have that down here? My Amazon profile. Here you can see some of the items that I've reviewed in the last few days. A toolkit, bug light, regular light, tactical flashlight. These stylus pens are really kind of nice. I like them. They sent, you can buy one or you can buy, and they sent the kit that had 2. This t-shirt, her shirt or blouse or whatever, really nice, but it wouldn't fit me. I didn't pay any attention really when I was ordering. Here's this thing here, which is hidden. Kind of hard to see because I always want to say LED now, and of course it's LCD, but it's temperature, indoor temperature, and the humidity. The temperature in here is 80 and humidity is 49%. Accessories for a GoPro type of whatever. These are all reviews that are done that I've completed. On and on it goes. On and on it goes. Home. Here's the ranking. 7th on the list of YouTube or Amazon reviewers. I'm number 7,374. And of course, like the number 1 reviewer is, the best or the top of the list. So I'm down. I think when I started, I was just doing reviews of things that I bought that were really good that I wanted to share. And I think I was like 19,000 on the list. Then I've moved up. But I've been sitting at this number for several months. So Amazon is either not updating, or as you get closer to the top, you don't move up as much. You know what I mean? Because I don't see other people at the top of the, but I get a whole bunch of. See, I don't ask anybody. I don't contact a company and say, "Will you send me your product to review?" They contact me. They say, "Oh, we see that you are in the top 10,000 reviewers for Amazon, and you are the best, or you're one of the best." A lot of them say, they're, in broken English, a lot of times, that you are the best reviewer. And of course I'm not. There's a lot of people much better than I am. I sort of thought my nickname or whatever should be Lazy Reviewer, because I do not want to put a lot of work into it. And I'm thinking about really drastically cutting back, and I've been turning down more and more people, or and a lot of items that I reviewed, I was sent, like tactical flashlights. I have reviewed probably someplace maybe around 10. I'm thinking I'm not reviewing any more humidifiers, those things that put fragrances into the air. No more meat thermometers. I'm turning down. So if some people contact me with something that I really am interested in, and there have been I had one company that sent me $300 worth, 3 different devices together, came to $300 worth of Wi-Fi networking equipment. Now, that was great. But I'm getting to the point where because it's becoming a full-time, well, it shouldn't be. If I'd kick it out, it wouldn't be, but it's becoming like and so when I'm not doing it, it feels like work, because I'm thinking, oh, I got to do some reviews today. I got to do review that. These people here sent it and they wanted it reviewed right away because they don't have any review, because I'm the first one reviewing the product or whatever. This here on my desk is not the one you saw, but they sent me a GoPro type camera, and you send an extra battery, and I don't see the camera. I think I have it setting out someplace, but I haven't done that yet, because it's a nice kit, because you get the camera. The camera does all sorts of, and I installed the app, but I haven't synced the camera with the the Android phone. So when I do that, though, I'm going to be making some YouTube videos with this GoPro-like camera. Also, I did have, I'm having them send me, a company is sending me a boom mic, or to go on your camera that plugs into Now my camera does not have an audio input jack, but my son has a camera that does, so I'll use his camera and see how that works. I bought a very inexpensive, when I had I've gone through a bunch of camera. I love this Panasonic. It's just the right size. I can drop it in my pocket. The Panasonic DMC LX7. But I would like to move up to another Panasonic camera that's a couple $100 more than this one, and it does have, But anyway, for the camera I had before, it did have an input on it. And I bought, and I have in my camera bag, an inexpensive boom mic. Not sure that's the correct name for it. But, and it didn't work. It wasn't satisfactory at all. So I'm hoping this one that I'm being sent to review is good, because that's the thing. These cameras are all, all the cameras nowadays are. I've been interested in photography since I was a kid. My father was a Boilermaker, and he worked in for State of the Union, Local 83. Later in life, when I got out of high school, I ended up becoming a Boilermaker and becoming a member of Local 83. During World War II, my father and mother were both Boilermakers working in California at the shipyard, building Liberty ships. So, but how did I get onto that subject? I don't know. So I'm going to end this right now. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give a thumbs down. I'd just like to know. That doesn't increase my revenue. The only thing that increases the revenue is watching, watching my video. It doesn't help me if you give thumbs up, or it doesn't hurt me if you give thumbs down. If you leave a comment, that doesn't, the thing is the viewing of the ads or whatever help. If you have ad blocker turned, I have ad blocker, as you can see, turned on. I turn it off if I go to a site and I like the site, and if they don't have any of these ads that bombard you or whatever, then I turn it off for that site. But anyway, thank you very much for watching.